So, family and friends, welcome to the Woke Nation, our nation of factual truth, where we feel free to share knowledge and spread the knowledge of factual truth without fear, without favor, and without faint. Where we encourage us to live our lives and live it well through the knowledge of factual truth, because it is our life. Today I'm sharing with us what I titled Who Called You? Who Called You? And we already know that many people keep claiming that God called them, that God sent them, to God called and sent them to minister to you, to liberate you, to free you, to enrich you. They come with all kinds of promises from a God they themselves have not seen, and they cannot see that God. But they tell you that that God is real. So you see them trying to sell to you the God that themselves have not seen, and then ask you to help them. God sent them. Any God sent, or every God sent is sick. Anyone that tell you that God called them, send them to tell you anything or to tell people anything or to do anything, that person is sick mentally. It started with their fictional character that was sick, Jesus in the Bible. In John chapter 6:44, Jesus said, "No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him." That alone should put to an end all this evangelism they are doing. If their God is real, they shouldn't be going to people, going from door to door, knocking, trying to convert people, trying to preach to people. Let God draw the people to Himself. Or if God send them, let God draw those people to them. Instead of them going, converting people, doing follow ups, evangelism, crusades, all manner of means, they use to convert people, to confuse and convert people. Said, unless the Father who sent me draws him. So Jesus claimed God sent him. Also in chapter 8, the St. John chapter 8 verse 18. Jesus also speaking. Remember, Jesus never existed in reality. According to the book, that's the only way you can see Jesus and the God in a book. And that's was there. It did not show you their picture or them. Jesus said, I am one who bears witness of myself, and the Father who sent me bears witness of me. See? So I've shown you two places Jesus claimed that God, or God who he claimed to be his father, sent him. Then let's go to John chapter 14. Anybody can claim anything. You can claim whatever you want until somebody comes to question you. Now, in John chapter 14, from verse 6, Jesus said to Thomas, there are some characters, believers, or preachers or teachers we avoid to preach on, and they don't want people to be like such characters in the Bible, like Thomas. They call them doubting Thomas, but you see how they threw away the gospel of Thomas because they know Thomas was not a blind believer. Thomas was a wise person in a character that says, I need to see. I don't want to believe your word. I need to see what you claim existed. So Jesus said to Thomas, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. 7. If you had known me, you would have known my Father also. That's a lie. Somebody who knows you don't know your Father. That somebody knows you doesn't mean that person know your Father. Unless that person has seen your Father, yes. But if you're just talking about your Father, no, until that person, until somebody see that your father, is not true. Nobody can know your father by knowing you. And from now on, you know him and have seen him. That's a statement like the sheep will not ask questions. They will just swallow it. They will just say, Amen. I believe. I believe there is God. I believe God exists. I believe. But Philip said, So you need Philip. You need to act like Philip. You need to act like Thomas. You need to act like the other Judas also that is not Iscariot. It's also there. Read it, you see it yourself. Philip said to Jesus, Lord, show us the Father, and it is sufficient for us. We don't need his grace. We don't need his love. We don't need his faith. We don't need his fear. We don't need his promises. Show us the Father, and it is sufficient for us. You will think that Jesus, as they wrote, have power to display things. They say that no one has seen God at any time in John chapter 1, verse 18. But Jesus has come to declare it. But Jesus never seen that Father. Anyway. Then Jesus responded to Philip. Philip said, show us the Father. Yes, I believe you are Lord, right? I've been following you. And you have been talking about this, your Father. He's always with you. He said, you are the way to him. Him that see you have seen him. Okay, show us the Father. And it is sufficient for us. It will end the confusion. It will end the argument. I have been telling you the only tangible evidence of God's existence is God's presence itself. God showing up. It's not what somebody should be represented. No God should be represented by anyone. For the fact you believe you are God called or sent somebody, prove that that God is weak. That God cannot do anything for you. Jesus said to Philip, have I been with you so long and yet you have not known me? Philip, he who has seen me has seen the Father. So how can you say, show us the Father? Because my brain is working. If my brain is working, you have to show me your Father. You claim to be with you. You claim to walk with you, or that you never leave you alone. This your Father is real. I am not a blind believer. No, I am a living being. I have my brain is working. So show us this Father, and it is sufficient for us. Jesus fell to show who he claims sent him. And likewise is every ministers of God, every messenger of God, anyone that said God sent them, they came from God. None of them has succeeded in showing that God. Why? It is simple. Because God does not exist in reality. Jesus, representing spirituality and religion, demands you believe without seeing. That's why you see spiritual people trying to marry their belief to nature. That's why you see religious people trying to marry their beliefs in it is written, it happened one time, in long time, in long distance that it happened. All they are demanding is for you to believe without seeing. But Philip, representing wisdom, say no way. Philip demands you show what you believe. You show what you claimed. You have to demonstrate it. You have to show it. When you show it, even the blind will not doubt it. Will not doubt it. When you show it, even infants, they will not doubt it. You wouldn't need to raise a child in that way. You wouldn't need to force anybody to believe it. You wouldn't need to indoctrinate anybody to believe it. You wouldn't need to brainwash anybody to believe it. You wouldn't need to follow anybody up to believe it. Show us the Father. Show us your claim. Show us your belief. Show us your faith. And it is sufficient for us. We are not sheep. We are not stupid. Show me you are God. Show me you are sender. You say God send you. I want you to show me that God. And until you do that, until you show me that, go back to that you are sender. I am not a sheep. I am not a blind believer. I don't walk by faith. I walk by sight. I need to see the one you said sent you. Until you show me that one that sent you, shut up. Go back to that your sender. Let that your sender provide for you. I will never give you my dime as offering. I will never give you my dime as tithe. I will never give you my dime as donation. I will never give you my dime as contribution. No matter how you come, you said that God sent you. That God should be able to supply all your needs according to his riches in glory. You said God sent you. That God's supposed to heal you. When you see those believers, those one who claim that God called them or God created them or God sent them or God is using them, when you see them walking like everyone else, when you see them in hospitals, when you see them in banks, when you see them in the things that normal people do, it shows they are sick. Every God sent is sick. I am woke. I am a knower. I am a awakener. I am not a believer. I'm not a follower. I will never worship any God in any form. Whether you say that God is your mother or your father or whatever, I will never worship any God. Those who claim those who claim that God sent them or sent by God are not in agreement because there is no God. See all of them. That's why you see them having different denominations, having different factions, having different sects. In Islam, they're scattered. In Christianity, they're scattered. In Judaism, they're scattered. In every religion, in every place they say there is God or worship God or honor God or respect God, they are confused. Although they claim to be worshiping one God, they claim to have one God, yet they are not in agreement. They are not in agreement at all. They are impostors and thieves. Every God sent is a liar. Every God sent is a thief. And those of you that are making your helpers, human being help you, say they are God sent. No, they are not. Human being help you, say they are angel of God. No, they are not. Human being help you, say they are ministers of God. No, they are not. They are impostors. They are not what they claim to be. They are liars. No God sent them. No God is using them. You say no. What I'm saying, it does not make sense. It don't agree. Come on, think. If God sent them, they won't be collecting money from anybody. Their God said in their book, if he's hungry, he will not ask anyone. So why is their God asking you through them to raise money to build a place of worship, to buy ministerial bullshit? No, if that God actually sent them, they wouldn't need any help from you. They wouldn't need anything from you. They wouldn't even need your belief. They wouldn't need your faith because that God should be able to do all things. These impostors, these God sent, they are the thief that comes in God's name to steal, kill, and destroy. They tell you, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord is a lie. And you women, don't you say, he did not say, blessed is she who comes in the name of the Lord. He said, blessed is he. They subjugated you women, yet you are deeply in it. They brainwash you and they have taken your sorrow as your joy, having fake joy. They are the thief that comes to steal, kill, and destroy. They steal your money. They kill your ability to think for yourself. And they destroy your wisdom and understanding. That's what God sent does. God sent them to destroy. God sent them to steal. God sent them to kill. And that's what they do weekly. And because government is using them, they are also part of government. You see how common things that we can solve, but it seems to be complicated and impossible, which is not. No one, oh man, no one born of parents is God sent. No one that have parents is created by God. No one that have parents is called by God. No one that have parents is chosen by God. No one that have parents is sent by God. Imagine how stupid we are by this religion they forced on us. Somebody you knew when he was born or when she was born. Suddenly, this person tell you now they are special, they are chosen. God called them, God chose them, and they begin to talk nonsense they cannot prove. Only because majority have been forced to accept a book as the word of God. So they are going there, embellishing the lies written in there and using it to confuse and convert people. They exploit. God is a fairy. God is a genie. God is not a real being. God is not a spirit being. God is a fairy. God does not exist. God is not in you. God is not in me. God is not anywhere. Stop believing the lies, especially those that claim to be woke or awakened, but they still believe in God one way. Some said, no, God is the essence of bullshit. God is the brain. God. They try to rename God. No, God is a fairy. God never existed as a person. God did not create anything or anyone. And those of you that say, no, how do you say, who created this? And they tell them who created their God. They run. They say, no, God is self-created. God is self-created. That's bullshit. No one is created. When you see every living being, they are born, they were not created. Another word you can use for that, they were carried. Your father and your mother carried you and born you. They did not create you and born you. God did not create you and your parents born you. No, your parents carried you. I want to tell you another secret they never tell you in their books or anywhere. They tell you how you are the light of the world, how you are the salt of the earth, how you are sheep. They tell you many things that you are not. But the main thing you are, they refuse to tell you, which is you are food. Whether you like it or not, you will be eating. Just the same way you are eating, you will be eating. You are food. You are food. Your parents ate you, carried you, and born you. They did not create you. I want you to know anyone who claims to be God sent, they are schizophrenic, suffering illusion, suffering delusion, suffering hallucinations. They're suffering mental illness. At work, you see some nurses saying, "Oh, I believe in God." I say, but that's the same. You are treating this patient because they're saying something you did not see. You say they are crazy. Are you not crazy like that? You are suffering the same schizophrenia you are treating with medicine. But because this one is legalized madness, religion, spirituality is a legalized madness. What the society has accepted as the way, the truth, and the life, but it's a lie. I want you to wake up, my people, and trash everything spirituality, everything religion. It is time we begin to heal the mental illnesses among us, which is the belief in God, belief in supernatural, belief in Jesus, belief in heaven, believe in hellfire. All those things they taught you to believe without seeing. They tell you there is heaven. You ask them, what is the physical address of that heaven? They say, no, it's a spiritual thing. Come on, I'm in the natural world. I don't need any spiritual thing. I am not spirit. I am human being. I'm a living being. So I am not spiritual. I am part of nature. I am natural. I am not a spiritual being, and I don't need anything spiritual, but physical. So these people are suffering psychosis. They are mentally sick. It is time you understand they don't know what they worship. Anyone that said they are God sent, they don't know what they worship. You must wake up, rise up, and trash them. Let us trash all this believing nonsense they used to keep us down. See how we are suffering as a people, as if we don't have our brain, because they made us to have book instead of our brain. They make us to have belief instead of our brain. And you see majority of our people clapping for that. And they get upset when they see or hear somebody like me. It doesn't matter how upset you are. I will never stop telling you as it is, the factual truth. And the factual truth shall prevail. Just as you will prevail and deliver yourself from God nonsense, God belief, God delusion. Deliver yourself today and live freely again. God